Well, hello, my paranormal peeps. My name is Matt Harvey. Welcome back to the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. I am the lead investigator and founder of Deep Woods Paranormal, along with my wife Amanda and other like-minded individuals. We research everything paranormal, be it ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, crypto creatures, lake monsters, river monsters, strange sightings of lights, you name it. If it's paranormal, we research it. So, on this episode, I want to talk about the Beast of Bray Road. There's a lot of theory on what this thing could be. There's a lot of reports of it going back all the way to the early 1800s. So we're going to talk about the Beast of Bray Road. Bray Road is in Wisconsin, and a lot of people say this is like a real life werewolf. So you guys kind of get a general idea of what this is. Supposedly, it's been witnessed in rural communities of Elkhorn and on Bray Road. So it's a small area it's not very big, but it's been seen in this area quite frequently. There's been thousands of sightings of this werewolf-like creature. So the sightings started back, the actual reporting of sightings started back in the 1936, and they're still reported to this day. This creature is said to be about 6 feet tall and have gray and brown fur. It's said to walk on all fours, but also seen on 2 legs. And it also supposedly can kneel like a man. So at this point, there's not been any reports that I can find of the Beast of Bray Road actually physically attacking anybody. Now, that said, it's been known to attack cars. What happens is basically it'll go out onto the road, probably looking for roadkill or to cross the road or whatever. And a car will come by and see it, slow down, stop. This thing will probably jump on the hood or attack the car in some way. And but it's never physically harmed anybody. So, and then people, of course, probably drive off in terror. I would too. I probably would. But it is very aggressive, and I imagine if you were just walking down the road, this thing probably would maybe attack you. Supposedly there's been reported attacks back in the 1800s, so we'll get into that in just a second. So some people claim this thing to be a Bigfoot. Now, we'll get into that in a second. They call it a bluff monster or Eddie. Some people say that it could be a Wendigo. Now, if you don't know what a Wendigo is supposedly some kind of demon-like creature that if it scratches you or bites you, essentially turns you into kind of like a zombie. You kind of lose control of your body, and you shapeshift. You shapeshift into some kind of a kind of like a dog-like creature or werewolf-like creature, and then you roam around looking for prey. And they basically supposedly attack almost anything they see. So we'll get into that as well. There's been a ton of movies and shows regarding the Beast of Bray Road. I've watched a few of them. They were pretty cool, but you guys can go check that out if you want. I think there's some shows on Discovery and whatever else that have that. So the first settlers in their area reported them. They were often seen basically attacking people, and people just would never come back. They go out into the fields or at night in the cornfields or whatever they were doing. I'm guessing these were farms. They were early settlements. Back in the day, they were very self-sufficient. They grew a lot of their own food and had a lot of their own food, cows and whatever else. And I would imagine what happened would they probably hear commotion out there, probably go out to check out what it was and probably never come back. So to say the Beast of Bray Road hasn't attacked anyone probably is not right. The reason attacks probably haven't happened is because on people recently is because people are always in vehicles. Makes it a little hard to get to a person. And especially if they're just grabbing roadkill and trying to get off the road, which is where a lot of them are seen. Several reports of people seeing them hunched over and eating a dead deer carcass or dead whatever on the side of the road. And then they'll kind of look at it and freak out and drive away and be growled at or whatever as they go by. So let's break this creature down. Let's look at it from a kind of a skeptical point of view. So maybe there's some kind of wolf hybrid that's just a little bit bigger than a normal wolf, and most wolves are pretty good sized. Let's just say there's a more of a larger breed out there that people don't know about. Maybe it's only in this area. Could a wolf walk on its back legs? I believe so. If somebody's driving by and I live in Texas, so I drive up and down the roads all throughout the nights here, and it's dark. It's hard to see things. It's very easy to misinterpret what something is until you're pretty much right on it. I would imagine those areas of Wisconsin are probably pretty dark as well. Those roads are probably pretty dark. So just to say, it's crouched down like a man, could just mean that if this is a large wolf, it could be just sitting on its back legs like a normal dog would, and people are just seeing that. Maybe it's sitting there with a prey in its mouth. Maybe it's got a deer in its mouth or something, so it makes it look like it's maybe standing up or crouched down or whatever. Another thought, these things have been around since probably before the 1800s. So, some kind of mutated human/dog experiment doesn't really fit the bill here, if you will. If they've seen them back before science was able to do that, more than likely, it probably isn't that. Now, let's look at Bigfoot for a second. Supposedly people say, and there might be proof out there, I'm not sure. So I'm not going to say there isn't. Most DNA for Bigfoots, when you do research, comes back, if you actually get an actual piece of fur or skin or something, comes back with human DNA. Could a Bigfoot be, and not to get off the path here, but could a Bigfoot be a human-ape hybrid? Maybe. Did humans maybe mate with wolves in the past? I don't know. If you're going way back into the caveman era, back when Neanderthals and everything, there was several different types of humans. Supposedly they killed each other. Some of them killed each other off. But now they're finding that may not be true either. So, to have a wolf human hybrid, I don't know. I don't know if that evolution did that or not. It could be. You hear about Dogman all the time, and that's another possibility what this could be. Who knows? But it's just something to think about. The more I kind of research this creature, the more I think it's more like a Dogman. And what a Dogman is just like I said, a werewolf that has human-like features. It's a wolf that has human-like features, walks up on 2 feet, and walks like a normal human, has more like fingers like a human than paws like a dog has. And so they're able to, grab things with their hands, not, they don't just have paws. And that's kind of what the Beast of Bray Road has been reported too, that they have more like fingers, not just paws. So again, some kind of cross between a human and a dog, or a human and a coyote, or a human and a excuse me for just a second. Let me gather my thoughts here. So I can't think of the name I want to say, but anyways, all right. So supposedly they could be some kind of cross between something. A wolf. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I don't know where that was hiding, but anyways. So yeah, I mean, could it be a dogman? Yes, it could be a dogman. They are reported in that area. They are reported across the United States, believe it or not. They're also seen where Bigfoots are seen. Now, somebody was saying, again, they have the bluff monster or Eddie. Could it be a Bigfoot? Could be a juvenile Bigfoot. I mean, if it's only 6 feet tall, maybe it's a young Bigfoot or Bigfoots that frequent that road because it's just easy to grab prey off of the road. That's definitely a possibility. Could they just be essentially sneaking out there and trying to grab a deer or something off the road and being seen squat, and so they squat down to look smaller, and maybe they look more like a dog. I don't know. Like I said before, very hard to identify things when it's super dark out here. I mean, the roads out here in Texas, some of them, not all of them, but some of the roads, the rural roads that you take, the single lane highways, which Bray Road sounds like a very unlit road that's very dark. It would be really easy to misidentify a Bigfoot as maybe a dogman, thinking maybe it had a snout. There are reports of juvenile Bigfoots kind of having a little bit of a snout, not looking like an actual Bigfoot. Supposedly, when they're young, they look a lot different than they do when they're older, which is true with humans too. I didn't look like this when I was 8 years old or 10 years old or whatever. I looked a little bit different. So, yeah, I mean, it could be a Bigfoot. They frequent that area. I mean, they're in that area. So, there's reports of them in that area. Maybe it's some juveniles just going down there to have a little fun or whatever, or maybe they're trying to cross a road and they get seen. Who knows? The other thing that they say it could be is a Wendigo. Now, I've done a podcast on the Wendigos. Wendigos are some kind of demon-like creature that possess humans, and essentially what happens is they supposedly scratch you or bite you, and essentially what happens is you turn into this dog-like creature. You get longer fingernails, your fingers grow, you possibly grow a snout, and it makes you kind of like a mindless zombie looking for food. And from what I've read about Wendigos, they seem to be extremely hungry all the time. No matter what they eat, they still are hungry. And if they basically touch you or scratch you or anything like that, supposedly you turn into a Wendigo too. This happens with a lot of lost hikers. Supposedly they get caught up out in the wilderness, go out for a day hike or whatever, and don't come back. And people go looking for them, never find them. And then people see in that area that they went missing. All of a sudden, they'll see this creature that looks like almost like a dogman or a coyote, wolf, human hybrid or something. Another thing it could be, and this is an Indian thing, Indian culture and Indian history. So yeah, is it some kind of Wendigo creature? Well, who knows? I mean, the more I do the research, the more kind of curious I become about this. It's a very talked about subject. So if you're interested, maybe go check out one of the shows on it, or maybe you can. So, anyways, you guys can go check this out and see if you can, what you think. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on what the Wendigo is. I'd also love to hear stories about the Bray Road beast. I would love to find out more about it. If you research it, I would love to have you come on our show and talk about them. Because you probably know more than I spent about 3 or 4 hours researching online, different reports, different sightings, and stuff like that. But yeah, if you'd like to come on our show and talk about the Beast of Bray Road, maybe you saw it. I'd love to talk to a witness. Again, on this show, we don't, we're not crucial of anybody. We don't judge anybody. It's a very laid back show. We just love to hear people's talk about the paranormal, and that's what I think most of our fans love too. So, anyways, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Stay tuned. Wednesday, my wife Amanda is going to be talking ghost stories, supposedly, on a new podcast that she's going to be doing. So that should be fun. We're looking forward to hearing what she has to say. And then again, on Fridays, we have the Bigfoot only podcast where we talk about anything Bigfoot. I think we left off on just starting to talk about Bigfoots in Texas. So a lot more information coming from that. If you're watching this, we'll actually look at maps and we'll talk about areas. And if you're listening, we'll talk pretty much in detail about why I think an area is a Bigfoot area, what things have been seen in the area, and what was going on when the sighting happened. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and then hit the notification bell down below. If you're watching our YouTube channel, if you're just listening to our podcast, please like and subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, we appreciate that. Thank you guys again, and we'll catch you on the next one.